Hi, my name is Bethany, and I'm going to be explaining the answers to two main questions. What makes you be you, and what makes you able to move? To answer the first question of what makes you be you is DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the genetic code that determines the characteristics of a living thing. DNA is located in cells. Cells are the smallest structural and functional unit of living matter that make up all living things. There's over 30 trillion cells that make up a human body, and lots of different types. There can be irregular shaped nerve cells, biconcave disc red blood cells, or cube shaped kidney tubule cells. Cells contain things called organelles, which are basically the cell's little organs, and they have special shapes and jobs to help the cells function. One of these organelles is called a nucleus, and is the largest in the cell, and sometimes referred to as the brain of the cell. It contains the DNA. DNA is made up of atoms formed in the shape of a double helix. A double helix is basically a twisted ladder shape. DNA has four bases: an A base, T base, G base, and C base. A and T base connect together, and G and C base connect together. These bases connect by hydrogen bonds, and the sides of the ladder, or the double helix, is sugar phosphate backbone. The order of these bases is the code or instructions for specific proteins that the body needs. DNA's job is to give instructions for making specific proteins, and it does this by two steps. The first step is called transcription, and it is the DNA's genetic code being copied by an RNA in the nucleus. DNA is too big to go in and out of the nucleus, so RNA comes in and copies the instructions from the DNA and takes it out of the nucleus to go to a ribosome. Step 2, translation. The ribosome reads RNA's copies of the genetic code, and then it puts together a specific protein based on that code. So DNA is the reason you are a human and not a kangaroo, lizard, or dog. Those proteins go on to combine with other chemicals that form cells. And cells with the same job and shape have formed tissues. Tissues form organs, and organs make up organ systems, and all of this combines make up an organism, which is you. So DNA's main job is to be the genetic code or instructions that determine what you look like and how you're made up. Some of the proteins that DNA makes, which go on to make cells that form muscles. And there's three different types of muscle tissue. There's a smooth muscle tissue, which is found in the walls of organs, cardiac muscle tissue, which is in your heart, and it pumps blood through your heart, and then skeletal muscle tissue, which is along your bones and helps you move. These muscles make up the muscular system, which is what causes body movement, and the body movement produces heat. Specifically, in the skeletal muscle is a protein called the myofilament, and it is responsible for the muscles being able to contract, which is what makes body movement. The nervous system goes hand in hand with the muscular system because it is responsible for the body's communication and control. The main jobs of the nervous system are to collect information, process and evaluate that information, and then respond to that information. And stimuli is a change in regulated variable or a change in the internal or external environment. For an example of what the nervous system can do is if you touch a hot stove and pull your hand away, that is your nervous system recognizing that you touch something hot and it hurts and it's painful and that you should pull it away fast. And it does this all within seconds. When the nervous system receives a stimuli that you would like to move your arm or move your hand, it happens so fast and you do it without thinking, but it's a muscle contraction, and that's whenever the nervous system receives a signal to send a signal to a muscle cell to contract. This happens by a neuron releasing a chemical out of the synaptic knob onto the muscle cell, and then that chemical signal goes along the outside of the cell's surface, which is called the sacrolemma, until it reaches a dip called the T-tubule. When the signal goes down the T-tubule, or dip, it triggers calcium to be released inside of the muscle cell, and the calcium goes to bind with a thin filament, which causes filaments to bind, filaments slide, and muscle contraction is complete. So to be able to move, your nervous system is made out of cells called neurons, and neurons send the signal to the muscle cell, and then that signal goes along the outside, goes down a dip, which makes the calcium go and combined with a thing called a filament, and those filaments slide past each other, and that's how contraction is made. To test what you know, you could help decode the secret message with detective DNA.